KQNY Radio News is supported by a generous grant from the Feather River Community Fund. More information about their programs and activities is online at featherrivercommunityfund.org. The news is also brought to you by Heat Transfer Systems. They can be reached at 530-283-3665 for all HVAC needs including conventional, geothermal, ductless systems, and more. We're also supported by Hunt Propane, providing bulk propane deliveries to residences and businesses at 530-283-9062, and Feather Financial, here to help with insurance, tax preparation, and accounting services. They're at 530-283-2341 and online at featherfinancial.com. Sierra Pacific Industries is committed to sustainable forest management and also supports KQNY Radio News. Information about career opportunities with SPI is available at 530-283-2820 and online at spi-ind.com/employment.
In partnership with the Plumas Sun, this is KQNY Radio News.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Loschiavo. A spaghetti dinner fundraiser is being held to support Plumas Rural Services.
And I'm Tommy Miles. The school board finalizes 10 layoffs, accepts 14 resignations, and approves raises for California School Employees Association members. Stay tuned for those stories and more on this edition of KQNY Radio News. The Plumas County Office of Education and Plumas Unified School District held its regularly scheduled board meeting May 14th in Chester. A special meeting was scheduled after the regular meeting to finalize the employee layoffs first presented in March. The District 5 board vacancy was addressed again during the same special session. In March, the board approved 3 resolutions resulting in 22 employee layoffs. They later identified errors in some of the layoff notices that had to be addressed and remedied, said interim PUSD Superintendent Jim Frost. Several layoffs were rescinded. One hearing was held. Other employees made and then withdrew requests for a hearing. In the end, 10 total layoffs were finalized May 14th in advance of the May 15th deadline. The layoff process invoked several allegations of procedural errors pointed out by public commenters on May 12th. According to the summary findings of Administrative Law Judge Sean Gavin, issued during an April 24th hearing, the district should have laid off its 3 least senior teachers. It did not, instead skipping 5 less senior teachers. A 21-page judgment was attached to the PUSD resolution to provide details of the layoff process. 2 Greenville Elementary teachers complained that the layoffs did not meet legal standards, and the PCTA president said that the bargaining unit disapproved of the layoffs, threatening that the association would file a grievance for any contract violations. The board voted to approve all 10 layoffs. 2 are PCOE employees, 1 behavioral health specialist, and 1 outdoor education coordinator. The remainder work for PUSD and include a licensed vocational nurse, 2 healthcare aides, 1 cook manager who is retiring, and 2 paraeducators whose jobs are seasonal. 2 certificated teachers, Lauren McIntyre and Sarah Carden, received layoff notices in spite of Judge Gavin's ruling. The district's legal counsel, Michelle Cannon, disagreed with the judgment and recommended the layoffs go through. However, due to resignations, they will keep their jobs, said Interim Superintendent Jim Frost. In addition to the 10 layoffs, the board approved 14 staff resignations. Of them, 11 are PUSD employees, and they include Human Resources Director Megan Dawn. The board also approved 3 resignations from PCOE. Among them, Chief Business Official Mallory Marin, Dawn's sister. Dawn and Marin, daughters of the former Superintendent Terry Ostreich, came under public scrutiny earlier this year in connection with PUSD's financial crisis. Both Dawn and Marin's resignations go into effect June 30th. Frost has said that the vacant roles will not be backfilled. After months of negotiations, a tentative agreement between the California School Employees Association Unit 193 and the district was finally approved by the board on May 14th. The agreement includes a 2.5% across-the-board raise, which puts CSEA members in line with other unions who got the same 2.5% raise earlier in the year. The school board also voted on the appointment of a new District 5 trustee representing East Quincy, Graygle, and Whitehawk. The public comment and interview process took place at a special session on May 12th, with candidate Keith Barnett selected in a 2-to-1 vote. However, because an insufficient number of board members were in attendance, the vote was procedurally invalid. A May 14th revote resulted in a 50-50 split between Barnett and candidate Matthew de la Montaña. Interim Superintendent Jim Frost advised that the PCOE Superintendent Andrea White could make the appointment, or an election could be held. White suggested an election. For more news on this school board meeting, please see the article at plumassun.org.
Plumas National Forest reports that firefighters on the Beckworth Ranger District completed the Big Hill Project prescribed burn near Sloat this week. Firefighters said fire effects were excellent and the project met fuel reduction objectives. This is the first prescribed fire treatment in these units, and firefighters are happy with the results, said the Plumas National Forest. In addition to ignitions May 22nd, firefighters suppressed a spot fire adjacent to the unit treated the previous day. They will continue to secure, mop up, patrol, and monitor the area into the holiday weekend. Approximately 40 acres were treated May 21st. Ignitions were initiated slowly throughout the day to help manage smoke and ensure that the after effects met the project's objectives. Ignition started with a test fire at 10:15 a.m. and continued until nearly 7 p.m. Care was used applying fire in denser pockets of fuel, going at a much slower pace, said Plumas National Forest. More than 60 firefighters worked on prescribed burning operations for the day, including personnel from the City of Reno Fire Department. While highly visible throughout the day, smoke dispersal was generally good May 21st. Personnel said there was very little impact to communities, with brief periods of haze but no lasting smoke impacts. Firefighters patrolled California state highways 70 and 89 during operations for potential smoke impacts. During the early morning patrol May 22nd, firefighters discovered a spot fire within an adjacent unit in the project area. The spot fire was contained before proceeding with ignitions. Approximately 100 firefighters worked on prescribed burning operations for the day, treating about 30 acres. Despite strong gusty winds in other parts of the area, winds remained light and favorable in the unit being treated. Smoke generally lifted straight up and then dispersed well. Plumas Rural Services invites the community to support the agency and all the services it provides by attending a spaghetti dinner fundraiser. On Friday, May 30th from 4 to 7 p.m., Plumas Rural Services will host an evening with a spaghetti dinner, including beer and wine, a prize giveaway, and a silent auction at the Gray Eagle Fire Hall at 7260 Highway 89. The dinner will be provided by Goombas to Go. Takeaway meals will also be offered. Tickets cost $30 for adults and $15 for children. Kids 3 and under eat free. Tickets can be purchased at Goombas to Go at 250 Bonta Street in Blairsden, Plumas Rural Services main offices at 711 East Main Street in Quincy, and online at the Plumas Rural Services website. Organizers say proceeds from this event will support Plumas Rural Services. The agency's mission is to empower and uplift communities through compassionate human services. Plumas Rural Services works to support those with disabilities, those dealing with trauma and family violence, families needing childcare and nutrition support, community members seeking mental health and other training opportunities, public transit riders, and more. Please join us in support of these efforts to continue investing in the strength and resilience of our communities, say organizers.
And that's it for this edition of KQNY Radio News. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.
This program is a production of KQNY Community Affairs Programming, and it's powered by the Plumas Sun, a group of Plumas County journalists and organizers committed to providing high-quality, objective coverage of local news. The Plumas Sun and KQNY both depend on community support, so please consider helping us out by going to KQNY919.org and plumassun.org and making a donation. Thank you for helping to keep local news on the web and on the air.